give a rousing Highlanders hello to head bagpiper Drew Shaw. Thanks, Drew.
Alongside Simon Brazier, happy Father's Day, everyone. It's not been the best season so far for the Victoria Highlanders, to the point where today's match against Calgary Foothills is worst versus first, and the Highlanders are on the wrong side of that equation. Simon, a lot of early season stumbles have really caught up to the Highlanders.
Absolutely. I mean, if you actually look at the table, look at the fixtures, what's happened, it's been tight. It's been really tight. We've got Calgary to the top of the table by about 7 points, but the rest of it is really tight. I think between second and bottom where Victoria are, I think it might even be 6 or 7 points. It's really tight in there.
All those early season one-goal losses, or not even able to score, have really managed to hamper what could have been a good charge up the table here. But for now, they've got to focus on a very good team in Calgary Foothills. Highlanders have switched formation away from their 3-5-2 to a 4-5-1.
Yeah, I think that's paying some well-deserved respect to Calgary. They're going to want to look to dominate that midfield early. Calgary played a couple of days ago. Victoria have had 2 weeks off, so I really hope they've been focusing on what Calgary do, how they play, and how hopefully they can kind of dominate and dictate the game in the middle, and get some key balls into Rushworth on top.
Absolutely, Rushworth probably going to be the danger man for the Highlanders. He's been a presence whenever he's been up top, able to crash and bang. On the other side of the pitch, Jordan Haynes.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about this guy. I've seen him play a couple of times, watching some stuff online. He looks dangerous. I'm sure he's been picked out by Victoria as a guy to watch out for, not giving him a lot of space. And yeah, I'm hoping that this formation is going to be able to close those areas down for him, and Victoria can come away, push early, and get something good out of this game.
Gordon Hall and Mitch Papadines will have their hands full. Hopefully they can contain them. It's Highlanders and Foothills coming up next.
Clear. Thanks, guys.
Bam, just like that.
To join us for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Father's Day edition of Victoria Highlanders Soccer is almost ready to get underway. Highlanders in their white, Foothills in their green and black kit. Both teams looking eagerly ahead to 2019 here, Simon. The Canadian Premier League not far away. And with Calgary Cavalry FC already announced, there is a looming and pending announcement that there may be a Vancouver Island team. And we've seen what that kind of news has done for Calgary this season. They look ready to go for 2019. They're top of the table. If there is indeed going to be a Vancouver Island Canadian Premier League team, what could that mean for soccer development here on the island?
Oh, it's going to be massive for all ages, everybody on the island. You know, if you're a soccer fan, you don't have to be a player to come out here and enjoy this kind of a thing. And, you know, we can see with the World Cup what an amazing thing football does for everybody. You know, everyone can relate to it, everyone's got an opinion on it, and everyone can really rouse and get excited about that. And, you know, bringing a professional team to Vancouver Island, personally, I'm very, very excited about the idea. So it bodes well for watching games like this, because this development league, you really see out there that guys are really looking to, you know, make a name for themselves to be, you know, introduced into something like that.
Nolan Worth, you can see there getting ready to be warmed up. He's got the talent, certainly he's shown it this season that he could make that jump in 2019 if the opportunity were presented. Certainly been rough in front of him. He's had some issues in front of him with defense, though with the changing in formation, perhaps that can be excused somewhat. Once again, we see Shaw and Montgomery as the center back pairing as the Foothills finish their warm-up and get set. Be interesting to see where they move around their left-hand side here. The left side for the Foothills projects to be Chris Serban and Jordan Haynes. Haynes, I would not be shocked at all, Simon, to be swapping with Serban as sort of a mobile winger, fullback, wingback combination. That could be dangerous if they manage to get their rotations right.
Absolutely. I think this game's going to be won or lost on the wings. And depending whether those players can make that space, whether the defending team can close that down, it's going to be, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting match. You know, it's a top v bottom, but really that doesn't really mean anything. It's 90 minutes, 22 guys on the pitch. Anything can happen.
Do you see this as a banana skin game for the Foothills?
I hope so.
Not that we're biased at all or anything here.
Oh, goodness, no.
As we get ready to go here, looks like standing over it will be Ajay Sakaria. Foothills to kick off on our broadcast left, attacking our right, where the Highlanders await. Foothills common possession to start off with. As Wielden sends it inside, and now they go out to the left. Nice and calm building at the back here for Foothills. No urgency whatsoever. And certainly, less than a minute into this match, you would expect that they try to go over the top with a five-man midfield here for the Highlanders, bypassing it entirely. Certainly one potential plan of attack here.
Yeah, it's early. Teams are going to size each other up. You know, the striker's a little bit lenient to go pressing. And hopefully it's really nice to get a nice early touch on the ball, get a crisp pass in. It's really important for everyone on the pitch to kind of do that, to get comfortable.
Hall giving away possession there. You talk about needing to find those crisp passes. In their last away game against TSS Rovers on the mainland, where sadly Rovers were able to win the Wanda Fuca plate with a 2-1 win. Hall certainly had his hands full trying to get that second pass through the high press of the Rovers. Might be one of the reasons why we see a break away from the 3-5-2 today and return to a more traditional four-man backline as the Foothills go offside. We talked about that battle being won and lost on the wings. That's certainly exacerbated in a 3-5-2 with all that space behind where the fullbacks would normally be. That seems to have been patched up here, though very nearly a giveaway. Shaw has come over and clean things up as Montgomery will hoof it to midfield.
Got lucky there, a little bit of hesitation at the back and from the keeper. Calgary are coming on, they're starting strong.
Serban moves up quick, drops back, and this will be centered in. Nice little turn there from Zakaria. Still Zakaria. Now he's lost it though. Not only as part of the area, chipped in, but tried to go over Worth, but he was equal to the task. Manages to get tall and yank it down. Yeah,
I don't like how much time and space has been given there to the Foothills attacking line. Need to be aware of that. Need to be closing that down, a little bit more anticipation.
Plenty of early closing down here from the Foothills. Not a lot of space for this five-man midfield to operate in. And they'll try to go into Papa Diamonds on the left. It's being deputized as a fullback today, Mitch Papadinets. Normally a midfielder. I've certainly seen he has the pace to operate as a de facto wingback. But he's already pushing quite high up as they wait for Hundle, who's moved deep into this 4-5-1. He'll do that naturally in a 4-4-2 or 3-5-2, so not a surprise to see him coming back into a more of an official midfield capacity this afternoon.
Yeah, he's playing high. He's dropping now to try and get the ball, but expect to see him advancing as much as he possibly can, putting some pressure on Calgary.
Kenzie Cole with the start today. Interchange with Hall, now Hundle. Makes one move, looks over the top with the run of Rushworth. Spirited effort from Rushworth, but snuffed out quickly and confidently there by Hayfield.
That's good pressure, that's what you want, you know, the defender's running away, running out towards his own goal. It's uncomfortable for him, and you know, the striker, you don't need to win the ball, but if you can keep him facing that way, you're going to win something like that.
Back the other way it goes. Foothills looking for a counter here. That will be popped up, and Worth will just calmly put it out to touch.
Yep, smart, didn't want to mess around there.
Options here for Foothills, they opt to wait for it. Not bodies coming forward en masse, so a long throw not necessarily in the cards here. Though lurking on the far corner is Tova Fakunle here on the near side of the pitch. 2 touches and he's in the clear. Deep line from the Highlanders anticipating it. And it's a scramble in the box. Foothills come up with it. Shot from deep and it's past Worth! Foothills are on the board already!
Wow, what a start for Calgary, what a disappointing start for Victoria. It's a beautifully controlled finish. The celebrations looked very rehearsed as well. But there's a long way to go in this one. That could be the wake-up call that Victoria needed because they've started slow.
No waiting whatsoever. First-time ball, hammered hard and quickly.
Yeah, Zeeby with a beautifully controlled finish there, you know. There's not a whole lot of... He's not put his laces through that. He's side-footed that into the bottom corner. Bit of a coming together of a bunch of different players. And cool as you like.
Bruno Zeeby, before 5 minutes have even been played, at the Foothills up 1-0. And like you said, Simon, if that doesn't wake you up, what will? Because that was more casual play right from the defensive line there in their own area. And Foothills were all too keen to make Highlanders pay for that.
Yeah, there's only 2 ways it goes from here. You know, you can either kind of collapse and let Foothills control the game, or it wakes you up. You get a spur of energy, and hopefully the team can come together and respond well from this, because you know that was within 4 minutes. There's a heck of a long time to go in this one.
If you are going to concede, do it early. Plenty of time to get that back.
Or when you're 4 or 5 up.
There are multiple times where it might be okay to concede a goal. Certainly you want to leave yourself as much time as possible to recover or buffer yourself against it. And Zeeby now, the goal scorer, coming deep, waits for Fakunle. He will go back to Wielden though. Fakunle coming very deep to help at this breakout. And they go over the top again, looking for the run of Kyle Jones. He will keep it in, but he puts it right back out into touch after all that hard work.
Unlucky, nice ball, nice little run into the channel, but a little bit too much for him.
Hayfield has moved up from the back line for Foothills, is now occupying a higher line closer to midfield. This may be an early formation shift as well for Foothills, who look to show a 4-4-2. They may now be teasing with a 3-man backline to deal with the 5-man midfield of the Highlanders.
Yeah, there's been some tactical stuff happening already with formations, and I hope that you know, Victoria can settle down, get the ball under control a little bit, because you know, Calgary, yeah, they've started fast.
Patino up against Hall, Hundle helping him out. Let's go back down the wing. This will go all the way back. Dominic Zator plays it up to Jay Wielden. Wielden in no rush. And now we see some urgency from the Highlanders, who begin to push forward and push that ball back. I think we're beginning to see the shifting mindset here, Simon. It's all well and good to counter, but if the opposition offers you nothing, you have to force the issue, especially if you are the home team.
Absolutely. You know, we said it pre-game, you know, Victoria had a couple of weeks off. Calgary, they played a couple of days ago. They've rested some players from that. So it's a really good opportunity for Victoria to, you know, try and use that 2-week break. And I'm sure they've watched some videos. They know what Calgary are going to do, and they've got a game plan. They must have been working on that. Let's just hope it clicks in sooner than later.
That goes central. Cole's not able to deal with that, and Hayfield goes back. Wheeled in over to Zator. Wheeldon tries the right side. Left was closed down to him. As the shifting 5-man block of midfield, trying to make things difficult, but on the run here is Jones again, who switched sides. He crosses.
Oh,
Shaw
wow.
had to be careful there, and so did Hall. Still loose. That one's given away cheaply, though. And now there's a chance here for Rushworth to move ahead. He's being closed down, goes over to Hundle. Hundle, one touch, has a look, leaves it to the right. This is Campanile. Slides in, no foul. And this is Hundle again. Papadinets calling for it on the left, goes to Montgomery. Now to Papadinets. Tries to play a 1-2 there with Bartolillo. A little bit of a miscommunication. This is Shaw now.
Shaw making an absolute worldy tackle, by the way, back there. I'm not sure what the defender was up to with that defensive header. It just put it straight into the path of Calgary Foothills. But Shaw with absolute heroicism.
Bartolillo cuts in again. Has Rushworth. Little 1-2. Finds Papadinets, who's cut far inside here. He's almost a central midfielder now. Nice interplay there. Hundle trying to break free. Not able to. That actually goes against him.
Yeah, I think he's got hold of his shirt there. Really eager to get in behind. The defender's done well. He's just put his body in the way. The only way that Victoria are going to be able to get the ball in that attacking situation is to pull the foul. Experienced.
Nathan Ingham starting in goal for the Foothills. Had help there with an on-rushing Cam Hundle. Able to confidently and calmly keep that under control. Zator. Has options out left, goes there. Tina looks over the top, there's Jones again. Foul goes against the Highlanders that time. Taken quickly. This is Hayfield, midfield, goes out to the right, Serban. To Kunle. Kunle cuts in on Papadinets. Tries to go centrally, headed back. Mackenzie Cole will almost win that foot race, but not quite. Hundle now tracking back to help out. Little chip ball for Jones, but he's not able to get enough on that. Kunle raises his hand, saying, I was wide open back post. Luckily, Worth there to jump on it.
Yeah, nice little attacking play, a nice little slip-through ball. Swings at it with the left foot, but contact was not great, luckily for Victoria.
Bartolillo does well to shield off the on-rushing Zeeby there, wins the foul. Kunle being disciplined there by the referee rather sternly.
And leave the ball.
To cheekily hold play up a bit. I don't think there was anything unclear about the referee's instructions there. Campanile. Papadinets calls for it. He'll get it. He'll run onto it. Flag stays down. Papadinets now crosses, looking back post, but there is absolutely no one there in a white kit.
That's unfortunate, you know, it's not the worst ball in the world, but you've got one player in the box attacking that.
This is better. Give yourself 10, 15 more
I think you'll be a bit disappointed that the right midfield is not busting a gut to try and get on the end of something.
We talked before about the switching tactics here for the Foothills, how they've sort of switched their personnel around. Looks like Jordan Haynes has moved to the right side, operating now as a fullback on the opposite wing. So we're seeing now that the tactical machinations and switching around here. As you mentioned, Simon, Foothills are on a third game or second game in 3 days. So there is going to be some rotation necessary. A lot of players being either out of position or not their favored position. That's a great ball over the top, though. And shielding this is Patino. Carlos Patino, one-on-one with Hall. There's the cross, back post. Vakunle is waiting for it, but it's just short of him. And it'll go over the head of Papadinets and out for a goal kick. Vakunle protesting that there was a touch there.
I think there may have been, you know, as the defender tried to maybe head it out of play. He didn't get a call from his keeper to see it safe, but luckily enough, it's a goal kick.
Papadinets not in any rush to correct the opposition. And it's a goal kick for Highlanders, which comes right back to Worth. Under pressure there from Sakaria. And Hundle likewise being closed down. Hayfield moving higher and higher as this game progresses. Touched inside. And now this is Rushworth. Nice little 1-2 there with Shores, but waiting for that. ZB again. Vakunle again calling for it. He's been wide open. Foothills right over and over. That time Montgomery looking for it, and now Papadinets the other way. Gives that away cheaply. And ZB again. It's fouled there by Campanelli. Advantage played. Sakaria out to the left. This is Jones. Scratch that. Jones has moved centrally. Now closed down again. It's Patino that time. And Hundle now inside to Shores. Cuts it back. Dangerous cut back there. Sakaria lurking. Montgomery.
Victoria looking a little bit more comfortable now on the ball, stringing some passes together. It's very promising to see.
Certainly something that they've shied away from in recent games. They've been preferring that long ball, letting their pacey players run. But the trade-off from that is if you don't become comfortable finding that third or fourth pass, you give away possession just so cheaply. And that has unfortunately been a hallmark of a lot of the build-up that the Highlanders have shown this season. Muscled off the ball there was Hundle. Jones touches to Patino, who gets it back.
Yeah, the thing with using that long ball and using the wings so often is it ends up being so easy to defend against, especially if you just can't mix that up and playing through the middle, playing little passes here and there. You know, defenders just back off, and you know there's some big guys playing in the back there. They're just gonna take care of that all day long.
Sator back to Ingham. Looks again to bypass that midfield, opts to find his man out wide. Hundle is right there. One touch, two touch, coming together. Concedes the foul though. Coming together there with Jordan Haynes. Haynes winning the foul. Now this is Serban. Haynes and Serban, two familiar names in the lower mainland soccer scene, specifically connected with Vancouver Whitecaps early in their careers. Now here with Foothills, continuing their odysseys in Canadian soccer. Sator now, out to Haynes. Hayfield showing short as the onrushing Cole forces the back pass to Ingham. That ball is short and given right away to Bartolillo. He leaves it, but he does win the foul there, and it'll be a free kick in a tantalizing position here for Highlanders.
Yeah, an opportunity to get shot on net. Calgary keeper's not done a whole lot. Looking at it now, it's miles away. I don't think he'll be lining a shot up here. But
yeah, an audacious attempt and a half here if Marcus Campanelli were to go for goal. Though certainly plenty of options forward. Shall and Montgomery have moved up. Hundle's out wide. Some discussion there with Mackenzie Cole about how this is going to play out.
The drums are drumming for this one.
Hundle now moving short as well. Campanelli looks. He will go low for goal. He saw a little bit of daylight. Just couldn't find the part that was on target.
Yeah, it looked like he wound up for a cross, which could have confused the defenders, and then went for their hit. But, you know, 35 yards. Needs to be an absolute screamer from there.
Haynes opts to launch it over the top. There's the run of Jones. Kyle Jones. He's fouled there. That could be dangerous. Deep foul to concede by Schall. Looks like no cards are forthcoming, and Schulp can perhaps consider himself lucky not to be in the book already for that one. He will get a talking to, though.
Yeah, one big strike up the pitch and they're away, and you know, from a dangerous free kick to Victoria, one long ball, and it's which is the other way around, and the defenders for Victoria are going to have to be switched on here. All about the delivery.
And it will be Carlos Patino to take this. Winds up, goes back post. It's headed over, though. He did very well. Did very well indeed to get his head to that.
That was a lovely ball in, you know, to the back post over everybody, and there was a couple of Calgary players looking to get on the end of it. In the end, Victoria did enough, I think, to put him off, but great ball in.
Dominic Zator did very well to rise there. Was well covered, but still managed to get ahead to it. Thankfully, that coverage put him off, as you say, just enough. And Papadinets finds Rushworth, who is offside by about a good, let's say, 2 meters.
Yeah, no doubt about that one.
Approaching the end of the 19th minute here. 1-0 in favor of Calgary on a 5th-minute strike from Bruno Zebi.
It's certainly settled down from the first 4 minutes where Victoria are kind of at 6s and 7s.
They've woken up, if nothing else. We're not seeing that overly casual approach to countering and defending here, which is good. Now they just need to find a little more impetus in the attack, though. It's tough to do that when you have a rampaging Foothills attacking contingent. Here goes Jordan Haynes up the left side, up against Hundle, who does very well to win it back. Leaves it for Hall. Put it up the side. Cole sends it back. Looks for the long ball, thinks about it, then goes one-on-one with Patino and does manage to dribble him once and then twice. That's some clever soccer there.
Yeah, very nice movement.
Back to Montgomery, and Campanelli will actually go down here. That was a awkward coming together, and Campanelli hits the deck in some distress. Will Montgomery play this out? No, he'll keep play going.
He's slowly trying to get back onto his feet.
And now the captain will kick it out of play.
Yeah, it needs to just take a second there. No need to rush it.
He's waving to the bench here. There was a thumbs up, but I imagine a little bit of attention here from the physio would not go amiss.
Yeah, rubbing that thigh, it probably looks like a dead leg. Little bit of magic sponge action should get him back up on his feet in no time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is 2018. It's probably the magic spray now.
There you go.
Water break all around, though, so anyone who's not in Marcus Campanelli will be enjoying a little bit of a rest and relaxation while Campanelli is looked after. So far, it's been a Highlanders side that has come in showing a very specific game plan with this 4-5-1 to try and make the midfield as inhospitable as possible, and to their credit, they've done that. The problem is as soon as you let them pass over the top, suddenly it's anybody's game, and Foothills have shown that they are more than capable of making things happen. As we see there, Van Hayfield operating in that anchorman role, sitting in the midfield deep, shielding his back line. Has done very well to blunt anything that comes out of that midfield. Rushworth has had his hands full. Hundle, who's been drifting in and out of that midfield position. And now Pukunle will throw this in, and it will be given back by Zebi. Good sportsmanship on show there.
Yeah, nice to see.
And Montgomery will restart. Shaw now has to deal with the on-rushing of Zakaria. Does go over the top for Rushworth, but waiting there was Wheeldon. No nonsense there whatsoever.
Yeah, I think they're aware of Rushworth's pace, so getting that ball out of the danger zone, no questions asked.
Hall has Shores. Montgomery directing traffic. Papadinets has advanced far up the left. Ball played centrally. Twisting there. Trying to get in. Was Bartolillo. But that was very well done indeed by Fakumi to shield with Zebi helping. Rushworth, though, puts a foot in late. Fouls his man. Serban looks unimpressed.
It'll be a free kick for the Foothills.
Such a confident team, Calgary. They carry the ball, they pass the ball so well. The movement off the ball is really great. You know, to be a player to have 2 options for every pass really shows you that the team works together fantastically well.
Bartolillo tries to get in on Zebi, can't. Hayfield will go back. Wilden goes along, he's seen 2 runners, opts to go short instead. Zakaria having dropped back. Jones and Schall come together, Bartolillo comes in late. Cole and Hundle now sprinting forward, they've got Rushworth. This is Cole. Bartolillo. Cole. Sees Shores, comes to Campanelli again, who's back in the play. Campanelli to Hall. Plenty of white jerseys forward here. This might be the time for a ball over the top. Instead, they go on the deck to Montgomery. Inside it goes, and then to Papadinitz, but that ball was poured straight to Chris Serban. Now Zibi. Hayfield. Zator. Then out to Haynes. So it looked like a good build up there. Calmly shut down. Fair challenge there. Stiff, but fair challenge there from Gordon Hall. Now Rushworth has some time. Gives it into Bartolillo. Looked for the run of Hundle, which was the right idea, but the placement was anything but right.
A little bit rushed there in the final third. You know, they're getting the ball into some good positions, Victoria, but that final ball just lacking a little bit of quality, and the experienced Calgary backline are just mopping it up right now.
New songs on display today for the Lakeside boys. Always good to see them inventing a few new things pitch side. As once again Vakunli, who's been having quite the battle with Papadinitz and winning more often than not. It's been a tear on that side, but this time he concedes the throw. Tofa Vakunle has been absolute dynamite on that side. He's been a threat every time he's up that far on the pitch. That's more than one time that we've seen him wide open waiting for something to happen at the back post.
Yeah, it's great to see the passing and the movement when you have the ball, but when you don't have the ball, you just watch Calgary. They are not giving Victoria a chance to breathe. You know, it's very tough for them to even put 2 or 3 passes together. That all comes from communication and hard work and organisation.
Hayfield under pressure here, manages to shake his man, leaves it for Serban. Serban goes back to Wielden over the head of Rushworth. They reset. Haynes has Hundle up against him. Doesn't like his options. Zator. Had that one nice header from a Patino free kick that didn't miss by much. They'll try over the top again. Calgary loving this long ball. Papadinitz, Sakari will run onto this. Worth needs to get rid of it quickly and does, but the kick is short and into the wind. There's not much of it, but enough to put some spin on that ball as Hayfield looks for the run to Vakunle. There's the cross looking far post. Dealt with at a critical juncture there by Gordon Hall. Serban closing down on Bartolillo.
It's a dangerous ball in. All it needs is somebody gambling in onto that 6-yard box.
This is Mackenzie Cole with some space. I don't think he expected to have, and now Campanelli is on the run. Campanelli has Hundle outright. Cam Hundle cuts in. Campanelli tries to shot himself, deflects off a pair of legs. Cleared by Jordan Haynes. Schall tries a low shot himself. Nearly took out Rushworth. Not quite what you mean when picking your man out with a pass.
I think he's gone for a 40-yard shot there, I'll be honest with you. He wound it up. You know, he fancies something a bit special every time he steps on the pitch, Peter Scholl.
I can't disagree with that, though. I do wonder if perhaps he saw something that either we didn't or wasn't there. I don't think Ingham was far enough off his line to try any sort of audacious chip.
We'll call it a misplaced pass then, shall we? Excellent.
Maybe not to Schall's face. 27 minutes played. 1-0 Calgary. They've responded well. Saw the tactics in front of them. Scored a goal 5 minutes in and have responded again to keep Victoria more or less penned in. The midfield has been the place where Victoria wants to spend their time with a 5-man block, and they've got it. The problem is they've had nowhere to go through. And credit goes to the Foothills there for putting up an impressive defense as that ball nearly picked off. Bartolillo leaves it. Papadinets does manage to get to that. I'm sure he would prefer that a little further forward. Mitch Papadinets now on the run. Goes inside for Rushworth, misses him. Nearly goes out the other side. Shaw jumping with Sakaria. Some shouts that it was done unfairly. The referee isn't interested.
Yeah, not a chance.
Montgomery plays it hard and low for Cole. Shores. Hundle. Hall for Campanelli. Tries to go right between both of them and almost does. Does get some help though from Cole. Bartolillo's there as well. Ultimately, it's Foothills coming away with it. It's Kyle Jones. Finds Sakaria. He's done well as the hold-up man here. That was a quick response there from Montgomery. Up the left, Bartolillo looking for Rushworth. Not able to connect. Campanelli loves to build out of the back. What can he find here? As Cole and Hall's interchange is snuffed out and intercepted quickly. Hall battling to get it back, and instead he concedes the foul to Carlos Patino. Looks to play quickly, then thinks twice of it. And instead leaves it for Hayfield, who will play it back to Zator.
Yeah, it's a hot day out there. It's important to take those breathers when you can. Slowing it down, you know, Calgary are 1-0 up. They don't need to really rush anything right now. It's Victoria that have got to chase.
Just a little bit of cloud floating in here from the north. Getting a little bit of diffusion, but not too much. Still, being the indoors person that I am, I'll take this to a rainy day on the pitch any day.
Yeah, I think we've got the shadiest spot in Centennial Stadium right here.
Poor touch there between Shaw and Hall. And that goes out. Now Haynes is on the overlap. He's got options. There's Fakunle back post, but that'll go over his head and out for a goal kick. Speedy transition again there from Foothills as they see their opening and pounce on it.
Yeah, the game's evened out. Getting to the 30-minute mark. Calgary got that goal early, but since then, for Victoria, it's that final ball in the final third. They've started to get a little bit more composed in the middle of this pitch. As I say that, they give the ball away. But it's that little bit of composure in the final third that's going to, you know, unlock the door.
See there on the near side, Blair Sturrock warming up already. Staying limber, his services may be called on in the second half as he recovers from a bit of a back sprain. Meanwhile, 1 Foot Hill is still on the deck. Looks like Sakaria. And now they're calling for the physio to come out and have a look at Sakaria.
Taking his boot off. Probably some sort of ankle injury, trying to create some movement in there.
Wasn't much in it when he was coming together with the... that was Shaw.
Physio coming on is not in a huge sprint for this. Let's hope he's not hurt.
Well, Coach Niendorf will take this opportunity gladly to drill a few instructions into his troops. Sakaria will stretch out and be looked over. Doesn't look to be grimacing too much, so we'll assume this is just a temporary setback.
Yeah, both teams getting a water break on this beautiful Victoria day. It's very warm down there pitch side. Super important to take that little hydration break.
The infamous historic bench stretch.
I think that's a lower back. I'm sure that's a lower back stretch, not a, you know, getting some leg tans going on.
Absolutely not. Wouldn't dare accuse him of anything of the sort. So Worth chats things over with Hall, and we see Ingham heading back in. Looks like Sakaria looks fit to continue. We did see some subs jogging back and forth there in green, but he will take his place by the 4th official. Gonna wait his return to the pitch. Tying his boots back up there. Looks like he'll be good. Worth waits for the referee's signal. And there it is. Out to Hall it goes. The very briefest of advantages here. Zakaria is still off the pitch. Shaw to Montgomery. There's Montgomery. Goes inside. On the ball a little bit there. It's Bartolillo, but now it's Papadinets finding Rushworth. Being asked to run Zakaria is back on the pitch now as Papadinets goes to the corner flag, tries to play it off of Serbin, does, but Serbin recovers. And this will be thumped over to Fakunle. Rushworth closes him down, finds Zakaria. Zibi, over the top, Jones is there. So is Shaw. Jones falls, and Papadinets recovers. Shaw now, surrounded, tight quarters here, comes away with it. Campanelli. Nobody out to the right for him to go to, so he goes inside. Now Hall slowly comes up, goes over the top. That's asking a lot of Bartolillo. And Francesco Bartolillo will not be getting to that ahead of Nathan Ingham.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. You know, it's good to mix it up. Short, long, give the defenders something to think about. I don't mind that at all.
Serbin and Wielden will slow it down now. As Hayfield looks on. Zakaria up against Montgomery again. Jones spins away off of Campanelli. He's touched there. Advantage played as far out to the left there, waiting as Patino. Up against Hall, cuts in. Puts the cross in first time, but Shaw's waiting for that. Heads it clear. Rushworth. 50-50 header there. Won by Hayfield. Up again goes Mackenzie Cole. Quite the aerial duel there between the two of them.
Yeah, wow.
Cole and Hayfield. There will be a fairly obvious foul conceded there by Gordon Hall. Spatino prepared to undress him. Hall did the arguably more sensible option and fouled him outside the box.
Yeah, wow, a little step over, turn of pace, and yeah, it's a clear foul in a very dangerous position here.
We can call that tactical fouling there. If Hall doesn't make that foul, Patino's off to the races and he's in clear. It's one of those times where I don't think any coach will mind. If you're going to concede the foul outside the box, do it to prevent a clear and obvious opportunity from starting.
Absolutely, and to get away with not a card, that's great.
It's been very, very lenient. There have been at least I can count on one hand the number of times there may have been good cases for yellow cards here, but nothing so far.
Yeah, I like that. There's nothing really nasty that's happened, so I like that the referee's, you know, not gone to his pocket early. That's good.
Wall being built here. 3 options presented here. It will be direct on target. Worth punches. Patino does hit the target. Hall loses out to Patino, who does a lovely little turn. This is Carlos Patino. Looks for the first time cross. Finds Zakaria, who's in quite the battle there, and it did in the end come off of Callum Montgomery, and that'll be out for a Calgary corner.
Yeah, this is some good Calgary pressure happening right now. Lovely free kick, palmed away from by Worth. Good save. And Victoria have got a corner kick to worry about here as the Lakeside boys trying to push that ball away from him.
And that short corner is dealt with by Mackenzie Cole. Rushworth is the only Highlander forward, and Serbin beats him to that, but it's only gone as far as Cam Hundle. Hundle has a bit of space, and he does find the run of Mackenzie Cole. It's a lovely ball.
3 on 3.
To Rushworth. Rushworth looks to get to Bartolillo. No, coming back was a Tor, but now wide alone is Cole! Mackenzie Cole has them level in the 36th minute.
Well, well, well. What a lovely finish. Look at the Calgary players. They are devastated at conceding that one.
I don't think they were expecting a counter so quickly off that set piece or with so many white jerseys coming forward. We'll see it here, Simon. This was a counter almost out of nothing.
Bit fortuitous there. 4 gives it right into the path, and it's hard and low through the keeper's legs. It's 1-1 and game on.
Here's the full counter. You can see Rushworth does well, but then Zator running back from the set piece inadvertently gives it straight to Mackenzie Cole.
Yeah, Rushworth gets it under and he's trying to advance that ball back to the other attackers. Very lucky that it falls straight into the path of a Victoria attacker, and boom, here we are, 1-1.
Undeterred though, Papadinets has to stop Fakunle from going in on his own counter as a little bit of smoke now comes in from the south end. And it'll be a corner here once again for Calgary. Well, we saw what happened with the last corner. If Victoria can defend as well as they did last time, I don't think they'll be too happy or too unhappy.
Yeah, it was a big, clearance up the pitch, which kind of kicked off that counter attack. And if we'll look back at the replay, but the defender, really poor header straight into the path of Hundle, I believe, and that's where the attack came from.
Hundle did very well. Serbin was there. Oh, there's a header at the far post. That might have been Sakaria. Cleared scramble, but not clearly, not cleanly. And in fact, that shot from Carlos Patino deflects off of a Highlander. It'll be another corner for Calgary. Not as cleanly defended that time for the lads in white.
No, it's hard to see who put his body on the line there, but there was a shot coming in. You could hear it from all the way up here. Heck of a block.
Sakaria, the danger man there. He will get to it, takes one touch, and over the top it goes. Some shouts there for a handball against, but nothing given. It's Papadinets. 1-2 ball there, finds Rushworth. Bartolillo. Being watched, does manage to get it. It's a lovely little turn. Back to Rushworth it goes. Hits it off the back of Cole, the goal scorer. Sort of sheepishly looks back at his attacker there. And nothing further is said as Serbin will throw in. Wielden. Zator. Haynes. Calgary backline. One little blemish on their record. And Zator's over-eagerness to get back after attacking that set piece inadvertently gave Mackenzie Cole a clear and subsequently onside path to goal. Hall will watch that fall in front of him, heads it back to Worth.
Very nice casual defending there. I've always enjoyed a header back to the keeper. It looks cool, it looks calm.
And with Sakaria and Jones both on him, Hall had no leeway. That had to be right, and it was. Bartolillo looks, finds Papadinets. It's behind him, though. But he'll get it back. Schall. Now we see the play starting to switch a bit out wide. Hall, being watched by Patino, goes inside himself. It's a dangerous pass to Montgomery with Fakunle waiting. Worth goes to Papadinets. Unfortunately, over Papadinets. Out for a throw. Cheers of support there for Nolan Worth coming from the Lakeside boys.
Yeah, it must be lovely to have that support coming from behind you, and I hope that goes through the keeper, through the defence, all the way up the team. That does.
Nothing like having a home crowd directly behind you, buoying you on.
Yeah.
As Rushworth looks on here, as Hayfield, calm as you like, goes over the head of Schall, which is not something we say often. Bartolillo heads it centrally. Cole finds Rushworth. Nice turn by Rushworth to avoid the defending of Serbin. Now Rushworth's in a bit of trouble, does find Bartolillo, and gives that away. You can hear Coach Niendorf there wanting a simple connecting ball, and Bartolillo tried for the slightly more difficult through ball between two sets of defenders.
Yeah, it's frustrating as a coach, but as a player, it's easy to play that easy ball. But you want to try something different. You want to create. You want to gamble with a pass, and sometimes it doesn't come off.
Patino has switched wings here, trying to hit over two shores. Sakaria was there, but Worth an acrobatic grab out to Cam Hundle now. Hundle inside. Has Jones watching him. Bartolillo. Wrong side of Rushworth. Wires crossed there. Once again, we see that the second pass is all right, but the third and the fourth are the ones where we're really seeing these attacks break down.
It's just sloppy. It really is sloppy. It's it's 5-6 yard passes, and they're being misplaced by a meter, 2 meters.
Bartolillo plays it off of Serbin, trying to get the throw in. Can't, but he does keep it away from Fakunle. Worth, Sakaria closing him down. Papadinets goes long. Rushworth is there. Flicks it over. Trying to get into Cole. Calls for a foul there. Nothing given. It's high. Bartolillo misses it. Papadinets doesn't. Kunle jousting for it, and now here comes Rushworth. Goes over to Hundle. Hundle in the center circle. Up against Jones. Tries to bully his way through. Can't quite. The smaller Kyle Jones does very well to put Hundle just off enough. It's not often you say that Cam Hundle is the smaller guy on the pitch.
Jones used his body brilliantly there, you know, he's got a low centre of gravity, he's clearly a strong lad. Used it to great effect there.
Sator. He and Wielden have switched sides here. Being watched by Cole. Almost a de facto 4-4-2 here as Cole keeps pushing higher and higher. You can see that 5-man block becoming a 4 more often than not. There goes Haynes, trying to get past Hundle. Does on the second attempt and out for a throw. Thrown quickly. Along the deck it goes. Zakaria watched by Schall. Here goes Hundle. Still Hundle. Leaves it. Slow to react with Shores and Zakaria for Foothills. Patino has Haynes with him on the overlap. Goes centrally. Zakaria was there. So were 3 white jerseys. But now it falls again and it's low off the bar. Haynes now at the follow-up. Calling for it is Zeeby. But it deflects off of Hall and out. And now Hundle's on the run here. He's alone, but he does leave it for Rushworth.
Wow, big let off there for Victoria. He's hit a wonderful strike. Keeper is absolutely rooted and it's come straight off the post.
A lot of exhaling going on here.
Yeah, I apologise for that.
No exhaling or cheering in the booth. That's the rules. Montgomery now. Shores. Campanelli. Can he direct here from the center circle? Finds Hall. Haven't seen as aggressive use of the wings here by the Highlanders, preferring to build through that congested middle. As a result, not as much space for these wider players to run in, though they're getting their chances now as Papadinets shakes inside on Fakunle. Campanelli. Shores. Montgomery.
And again. Open the shutters!
Rushworth shows short to Papadinets. No look there from Bartolillo to Cole to Rushworth. Serban did very well to get a toe in and poke that away smartly. And Serban will just thump it, he keeps it in as well. Lovely little spin on that from Chris Serban. Danced along the touchline.
He must have thought that was coming out, but it just kept spinning and spinning.
Meanwhile, as we've played the 45, 2 minutes being shown here by the fourth official, excuse me. So 2 minutes of stoppages to be played as we reach the full first half. Full allotment of time having been played. 1-1. Goal from Bruno Zeeby for Foothills in the 5th minute to Mackenzie Cole for the Highlanders in the 36th. And if you're the Highlanders, if you can hold out for 2 more minutes, you go into the break tied 1-1 against a side like Foothills. I don't think they'll be too displeased.
Absolutely not. Sorry to interrupt you there, but no, I mean they should be delighted with this because they are well in this football match right now. You know, they've been creating, and the goal they scored came with a bit of opportunity, but you know they gambled. They dabbled in there. It's great to see.
Rushworth's header. Down in the box was Campanelli, I believe. He's already been down once. Hundle now. As Campanelli gets himself on side. Hall goes back to Worth. Didn't like what he saw. Montgomery. Still 4 jerseys forward here. 4 white ones, that is. So Montgomery has options. Showing short as Rushworth. Closed down quickly. And Fakunle gets to Zeeby. Zakaria immediately met by Schall. No moment's rest there for Ajij Zakaria. And now Marcus Campanelli thinks about laying off and goes himself. Sliding in was a Tor, and this is still Campanelli. All the way to the end line. Dinets crosses. Now we'll go all the way over to Haynes. We'll just send it as far as he can, past Hundle. As we've almost played the 2 minutes for stoppages here, is there a chance in the offing here? Mackenzie Cole spun off the ball. Shores has to come over and sweep that up. And it will go out for a throw. That may very well be the last action here for the half.
I think so, the referee. There we go.
There's the halftime whistle. Your score after 45 minutes. Victoria Highlanders FC 1, Calgary Foothills FC 1. As you said, Simon, they'll be happy with the scoreline, though performance-wise, we're still seeing not as clinical in passing, and I'm sure Coach Niendorf will be having more than a few things to say about that.
Absolutely. I think the back line for Victoria has organised themselves very well after the first 4 or 5 minutes, as we see some action there. But it's yeah, it's been good from Victoria coming into the later stages of this first half. They've got their goal. They're well in this. They've got a little bit of a counter. They're pushing Calgary on the counter attack. I think if they can just cut out that little bit of sloppiness.
Something like this, for example, which allows Bruno Zeeby to score the first goal of the match. I'm pretty sure it doesn't take 3 defenders to go walk up to a ball and just look at it. 1, 2, 3, and then nobody gets it.
That's 4 people sucked into the play. It totally lives in free on the edge of the box to just stroke it home.
Patino here with his free kick. This one did call Nolan Worth to be sharp. And sharp he was, punching away there at the near post.
Yeah, he gets it up and down beautifully.
And then we see the goal. It's Cole to Rushworth. Bartolillo tried to get in, but instead it was Dominic Zator for the Foothills, who inadvertently puts it right on the boot of Mackenzie Cole. Makes no mistake under Nathan Ingham. And that's how we arrived at 1-1.
Yeah, he tries to flick it over there, but, you know, take nothing away from him. That is not an easy finish because the angle is tight. It's literally through the legs is the only place he could go.
Corner kick here from Kyle Jones. This one also posed a little bit of difficulties. The header right at the back post. Worth had to be sharp. You questioned whose body was on the line there on the follow-up. That looked like Marcus Campanelli again. But as that is how it stands after 45 minutes. 1-1 between the Highlanders and the Foothills. Second half coming up after a short break. Happy Father's Day, everyone. We'll see you on the other side of halftime.
A girl and took her hand, he told her never will I leave you my love. She said, darling, I've been in and out so many doors, and I've always tried to keep my head with all the men I've known before. And left me there again, feeling like a stranger to my happiness. I'm feeling like a stranger to my happiness.
Why do we, as humans, choose to travel? We do it because we love to. Because we have to. Or maybe it's because we need to. Because we haven't quite figured out what else to do, or be. Because someone told us it wouldn't be smart to, and we knew better. Because we save every last penny too. And some of us work our whole lives too. We can't tell you why you wanderlust or daydream or yearn to run away. But you can tell us. You can tell us why you want to travel. Because isn't that where it all starts? Isn't that where the story begins? You see, we're here for the story, for your story, because we're human too.
Thank you, teams. Let's do another round.
Nikki, everything's exciting to you.
For the boys.
That's fine. Yeah, honestly, I say we fight those people.
They're probably
Highlander fans, we would like to hand the microphone to Samantha from Highland Savings, who's going to do the Father's Day competition.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be representing Highland Savings today. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We dedicate this game to the full cover, which gives funds back to our local food bank. Did you know that $1 can provide 3 meals? So today, this is Father's Day, we want to have you compete and stack our cans. What you have to do is stack the cans in the same color order and have to say, "Let's stop hunger" at the top. Got it? Okay, so we'll see if you do it the fastest. Also, you have your limits. Just down one will fine. So we got our cheerleaders ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Now the words have to be at the top. It looks like we have a winner! Give a round of applause for both these fathers.
Come on, boys, come on. Where's the fishing Hey, Special, remember what I said, yeah? Come on, Rashid. Corey, Mitch, talk to each other on that field, yes? Let's go for
Welcome back to Centennial Stadium. Roturo alongside Simon Brazier in the broadcast booth. As you can see, the sun has really started to take a number on the crowd here, Simon, and they've taken for the shade under the main stand here, and who can blame them? Sunstroke's not fun for anybody.
No, it's not fun for anybody, absolutely not. So yeah, it's nice to see them come over into the shade. I feel like we've got a little bit of a family surrounding us right now, which is beautiful to see. And Victoria, you know, had a good end to that half, got their goal. It's 1-1. There's probably many people looking on in the league as well. TSS second place. This result could be very, very interesting for them. Let's hope Victoria can do the rest of the league a little bit of a favour and show that Calgary are human after all.
One substitution for Calgary to note here. Coming out, number 17, Toba Fukunle. Coming in, number 12, Nico Piscotti. So we do see a change here up in the attack for Foothills. Fukunle really ran a fantastic game there out in the far right side of the pitch. He was a thorn in the side. He basically kept Papadinus honest for 45 minutes. So great shift for him. Either he's completely tired out or there's something else at play here. But either way, Nico Piscotti, big boots to fill.
Absolutely. It's going to be a rip-roaring second half, I'm hoping. Sharpen up, I think, would have been the call from Thomas, the Victoria coach.
Absolutely, it's two really simple words, and it gets to that main point that we've been talking about for how many games now, Simon, about just a little more clinical, a little more quality, and just being a little more consistent with those third and fourth passes to stop giving away possession.
Absolutely, you do all that hard work, getting up the pitch, getting into that final third, getting into dangerous positions to just give up the ball. It's super frustrating to watch, and I'm sure as a coach, you know, it's going to thin your hair a little bit.
Campanelli there dropped down. Looks like advantage played or no foul given. Either way, still Highlanders ball. Out on the far side there, Cole has his hands full, brought down, wins the foul, be a free kick for Highlanders in the attacking area. One other substitution to mention, Corey Bent, number 3 in white, has come in for the Highlanders. So we talked about that pacey attacking play. Corey Bent's got pace and attack to burn for the Highlanders, Simon.
Absolutely, you know, he's Victoria's top goal scorer with a couple of goals. He's dangerous, he's quick, he's dynamic. A fellow Englishman, which is, you know, got some special meaning to it as well.
Campanelli delivers, diving header there, attempt, awkward collision there between Hundle and the defender. And it's headed in right past him, and they're going to say corner. It did come off the Calgary defender. Boy, Hundle really went in for that one with no thought for his own safety there.
That's the commitment you need to, you know, really put your team in a position, get everyone really fired up. You've got to be going in for stuff like that. Hundle
retreats beyond the arc here. And to the spot, diving headers! Unable to connect there was Montgomery as Haynes was all over him. And coming up with it in the end is Ingham.
That's a dangerous ball in, whipped in hard across. It just needed a stronger touch. Again, you know, diving headers, you know, we're talking about guys putting their faces on the line. And it's really nice to see.
Looks like the man who came out for Bent was Francesco Bartolillo. He was involved in the build-up for the equalizing goal. And there was almost a go-ahead goal there as Nico Piscotti nearly managed to get it to nick one there, not 3 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, it's end-to-end action happening all over the park right now. And the delivery was good. Just the striker a little bit flat-footed, couldn't quite get into that position necessary to, you know, get anything on it. Wow, what a strike that was! The distribution from Worth, as always, splendid to see.
Highlanders controlling now in their white kit on our broadcast left, attacking the right, where the Calgary Foothills wait in their green and black kit. Very rare I compliment the opposition, but that is a sharp-looking kit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, it's nice.
Hall now being watched by Patino, and this is Hundle now forced to backtrack with Haynes all over him. That one will go off and out as Shaw does manage to get the throw in the end. Hall for Hundle. Has some space in front of him with Patino behind. Runs into it. Looks for that through ball. Was asking a lot of Papadinets, who recognizes that that one was almost there.
Yeah, those guys went on the same page there. One came short, one thought about the long ball through. But that's okay.
Bruno Zevi, who's changed his boots at halftime, it looks like. Swapped out the orange for a lovely yellow pair.
It's incredibly observant.
I'm sure there's a tactical switch to be made there somehow. Tactical footwear maneuvering.
Potentially. Superstition, potentially.
Haynes now. Looks for Zibby. Finds him. Goes back to Patino. Let's go all the way back. And under pressure here will be Zator. It's Campanelli. Forces that all the way back to Ingham.
There are still a lot of people over there enjoying that sunshine. Good for them.
Rushworth almost managed to nick one there off of Ingham, but he delivers it upfield. Only as far as Schall, though. Gets in front of Zakaria. Scotty. Haynes now, staring down Hundle. Goes for Patino. Over the top it goes. Jones trying to get there. Schall will shepherd it away. Kyle Jones bundled over. Half-hearted shout for a penalty. Nothing given. Biscotti. Back to Patino. Carlos Patino. Hundle went a little bit early. Schall will nod that away, though. Mackenzie Cole over the head of Hayfield. Zator gets in front of Rushworth. And now it's Rushworth one-on-one with Wheeldon. I'll have to get this right, and he does. Rushworth on rushing almost nicks that back. That was almost too casual to a fault there from Nathan Ingham. and does go out for a Highlanders throw. Well, there's confidence, and then there's being just a touch too casual in your own end when you're the last man back there, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll tell you that he knew exactly what was going on, and he had he had Rushworth exactly where he wanted him. But yeah, that was a couple of centimeters from being on the end of his stud.
Corey Bent there, a little bit too much oomph on that switch for Cam Hundle. Bent hasn't had a lot to do since coming in.
Right, they'll be looking to get the ball to his feet so he can, you know, get running at that Calgary back line.
Well, Bent conceding the foul there. He's definitely eager to get involved, but perhaps a touch too eager. One note being brought to our attention here, Simon, from the chat on YouTube is that Biscotti found the net just a couple nights ago. So he's already in form. He's had a great season so far, and as has been noted here, and I'll quote here, hoping his somewhat fresher legs find some opportunities. I don't think there's any doubt of that, considering here he goes up against Papadinets.
Yeah.
Unable to control that, though, and now it goes for a throw.
Nice to see some interaction over there on the YouTube chat stream. That's great to see. So great that these games in the PDL can be accessible to anybody through such a great platform.
It's always good to be able to get more eyes on grassroots soccer. It's how we're going to grow the game, is getting more eyes on all the levels, all the way down. Canada, of course, part of the United 2026 bid that will be hosting the World Cup in that year.
Very exciting, absolutely. It's been a good talking point this week for sure.
I'm sure there are plenty of people here who will certainly not be out of contention. Might still be dreaming of maybe I could get onto that Canada roster. We'll just have to wait and see.
There's only a time to be motivated to participate in something like that, you know. So you've got 3 games a week right now. You can see what it means to them.
Shouts from the bench of that ball crossed over the end line. Neither referee interested. Hundle now. Cole. Mackenzie Cole, he's already got 1. Can he provide another? Still dancing, Mackenzie Cole.
Oh.
Finds Hundle. It's a lovely little cutback. Cam Hundle into the area. Papadinets. Hundle. Cole. A little cheeky hook heel there. Hundle leaves it for Hall. Hall's cross is low and hard, but not able to get there was Rushworth. Dangerous stuff there.
Very composed in the box there, you know. Calgary are making it very difficult. They had literally everyone behind the ball trying to block a shot. So Victoria, they didn't rush it. Kept the ball, trying to create an opening. And, you know, they went in, they came out again, got it wide. It was a nice cross in, but unfortunately no one made that gamble near post. Promising.
Zator. Back to Ingham. Looks long. That will go directly to his counterpart in red at the other end of the pitch. Worth leaves that for Montgomery.
Victoria will enjoy that long ball all day, whether that runs all the way through to their keeper or Peter Shaw is just he's won absolutely everything today.
Him and Montgomery have been an unquestioned inspired partnership since the switch. Cunningham and Montgomery were the partnership to start the season, with Shaw out wide. Moving Shaw inside has definitely paid off. Even though the formation hasn't been ideal necessarily, that is a solid-looking partnership. Meanwhile, Bent's on the run here.
It's offside.
He is indeed.
That pass came too late. It was a really nice run. You could see he had the momentum. He was off. The pass just came that tiny fraction, a little bit too late. Bent commits. The pass comes in. He's offside. You see him. Yeah, Bent is wanting this ball there.
And there Papadinets gets his head up just a touch too late, and by then Bent has blown the line by quite a few strides. He'll get another chance here, though. That is the danger that we know Corey Bent can be. Papadinets gets his head up even a second earlier. And I think that's Bent clear in on the far post. Of course, there's a long way to go from 20 yards out to goal, so certainly far from a guaranteed thing, but here comes Hundle. Slid in by Zeeby, no call. Referee deemed it a clumsy yet fair challenge. But now here's Campanelli.
Shoot.
He will. Oh, and it didn't have much on it, but it was teasing that far post, and Ingham had to get down and make sure.
This is wonderfully promising for Victoria right now. They're picking the ball out in the midfield. They're getting it to their attacking players quickly, and they'll just push him forward. It's great to see.
There's that long ball. Sakari and Shaw. Another duel won by Shaw. Rushworth turns. Sliding in there was Wheeldon. And Rushworth is still down, and Hundle will put it out for treatment.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, he's taken a hit there, but you know what? His first touch was poor, inviting that challenge to come in, and he's kind of done that to himself. Let's hope this is nothing serious.
Still on the bench here for the Highlanders if Rushworth is unable to continue. Jonas Smith, Stuart Heath, Isaac Coach, Noah Cunningham, and Blair Sturrock. Sir, of course, recovering from that minor back injury, just a slight sprain or strain. So certainly an option to get the Jedi Master himself on. Hopefully some of the fans here enjoying the shade at Centennial Stadium will get to see him.
Ray-Ban is getting a lot of love today.
We swear this is not a plant. It's great to see everybody out here, all the families enjoying Father's Day. It's that, as The Simpsons so ably coined, that mom-dad-grad corridor. Mother's Day straight to Father's Day, straight to graduation.
When's it Kids' Day? Is there an official day?
I'm pretty sure all the rest of the days are. Anything that involves a present is usually a kid's day.
Okay.
That's a lovely looking trophy right there.
Look at that.
Had a nice presentation there at halftime. St. Michael's University and the other local championships. So we have a substitution here for the Foothills. Coming out will be Dan Hayfield. Coming in, number 14, Elijah Adekube. And if that name is familiar to you, you may be thinking of Sam Adekube, formerly of the Vancouver Whitecaps, now plying his trade overseas. So Adekube, Elijah Adekube that is, midfielder by trade, and it's likely that's where he'll slot in. Rushworth, treatment seems to be finished, and he's having a quick chat with Coach Niendorf as he recovers. As we wait for play to continue here. One other substitution did manage to happen in there as well. Looks like Ajiy Sakaria's day is done, and in his place, number 9, Moses Danto. So another big man for a big man, like for like swap. It looks like they're keeping that big, strong target man presence up at the front there. Business as usual continues for the Foothills. Now this is Danto. Trying to get past Shaw. Shaw shoulders him off. He'll take over. Hoofs it over for Hundle. Flicks it back. And I'll go up for a throw. And this time Hundle does give away the foul. Protests from the bench. And it's a decent looking position for a free kick here. If Carlos Patino wants to stand over this, and he will. I'm sure he fancies a good cross coming from this position.
Yeah, Moses Danto, the top goal scorer for Calgary, coming onto the pitch. He's going to have an opportunity here to get on the end of something if the delivery is right. But he's going to be up against a solid partnership at the back.
Kyle Jones also standing with Patino for this. Now he stands off. Tries to split the wall, and he does. Patino looks up. Look for Danto! He wasn't wide by much.
He slams the ground. I think he should be scoring there. The ball is so dangerous. It looks like it just comes off the top of his head. He can't get anything quite on it. It's coming through a crowd of players, but you can see his frustration there. He probably maybe should have got more on that.
I get the sense that he is going to be giving both Montgomery and Shaw all they can handle, as now we see Rushworth is going to come off. He didn't look like he was fully himself after that collision, and now his day is indeed done. Rushworth coming off. Isaac Coach coming in. Number 11 in white. More of a midfielder. He has played some forward before, though that does leave perhaps a spot for Cam Hundle to move up. But for now, it looks like it will be Coach staying up front.
Yeah, he looks like he's spearheading it. We know he's quick.
Hundle tries to get the ball to him. Danger isn't over yet. Hundle trying to close down Haynes on the far side. Comes away to Zibby. Coach all over him. Patino spins, turns, keeps it in play. It's a lovely turn by Carlos Patino. He's got it forward to Kyle Jones now. Centrally it goes. Danto, back heel. Piscotti. Against his like number 12, Papadinets. Over the head of Campanelli. Patino goes central. There's Zeeby again! He's already scored once from around there, and he catches a deflection on the way through and over, so that will be a corner for Foothills.
Calgary edging back into this second half. It's pretty much been all Victoria for the first 15 minutes. But Calgary, they're a good team. They're never going to, sit back and be dominated for too long. I just hope Victoria can, weather this storm. They've got 2 strikers up there now. It looks like they've got Corey Bent and Coach up there, especially for this corner anyway, for any kind of counter-attack that might come up from it.
That's a smart play there. 2 fast players. We've already seen this counter pay off once. The Highlanders. But first things first, they have to defend this set piece. And that does go back post. That is cleared. Shaw with the final header there. Only as far. It's at a Kube. And now this is Wheeldon still up from the set piece! And Wheeldon sneaks one underneath Worth. Jay Wheeldon hadn't abandoned the set piece just yet, and the center back has the Foothills in front 2-1 in the 63rd minute.
Wow, the ball was looped back in. It was brought down. It's a tidy finish. Hard and low. Worth gets a piece of it, but not enough to keep it out. And Calgary 2-1 up. Yeah, it's a tight first touch. I don't know if the defenders are doing enough there.
Difficult position. You have to be absolutely correct inside the area, or else that's a penalty any day of the week. For Worth, I'm sure he'll want a piece of that one again. Didn't get down quick enough, and it scoots underneath him.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. That's the first kind of 2 or 3 minutes of pressure the Calgary have put forward, and they get their goal from it. I hope that Victoria can show us more of what they started the second half with, but giveaways like that is reminiscent of the first half.
63rd minute, that goal for Jay Wheeldon. Foothills up 2-1. At some point, Simon, I suppose the game plan for the Highlanders has to be just try and outlast this Foothills side, who are on a heavy rotation of games right now, and if they can exploit those tired legs, maybe there's a way back in. I assume that's why you have Bent and Coach up front, trying to provide that pace.
Yeah, frustrating the back line, looking for something over the top. The last 15 minutes of this game will be very interesting. Calgary definitely rested some players. They're probably some of the starters that they might consider their first team. And a couple of them have come in, so it's going to be very interesting. 25 minutes left of this game.
As you mentioned, Danto, top scorer, still on the bench for the Foothills is Canadian national team player Nick Ledgerwood. And though it looked like the assistant referee had signaled there might have been a foul, the referee waved it off. Play continues.
He went down incredibly easy there for such a big lad. The linesman was flagging. I thought it was going to be given as a penalty, but the referee's made a spot on call for me.
We'll see if we can get another look at it in a second. Patino now trying to get around Hall. Nothing doing there, and that goes out for a goal kick. Hall does well to shield the ball there.
Yeah, Danto is not talking. He's not really complaining about it too much.
Hundle's going to have to run for this. It's a heavy throw, and Haynes beats him to it. Haynes has got options here. Danto is all alone in the middle. He's right between both defenders. The long ball. Maybe it was a shot. Maybe it was a through ball. Either way, it hit none of the targets presented. And Worth will think about this one. He took his initial distribution rather quickly.
Yeah, a bit hasty there.
This time he finds Hundle. This time Haynes won't be able to get there. And they'll try again through Hall. Shaw.
Will one of these guys on the monitor, will they prove to be something that's going to change this game? You never know.
Noah Cunningham and Blair Sturrock there. Cunningham, normally a defender, listed today as a forward. He's certainly got that presence to be a target man. And we all know what Blair Sturrock can do. Montgomery. Strong challenge against Piscotti. No call. Shaw moves away from Danto. Finds Cole. Brought down. Referee does decide that is a foul. Thought about it. And it looks like the Highlanders will... They think about taking it quickly, but now the defenders move up. Everybody's going forward for this. This might be a cross into a second ball here. As Campanelli looks at his delivery, it's a long one, but all the bodies are forward.
You'd think that Peter Shaw's the target.
And he is. Flicks off the Calgary defender, and that will go out for a throw. Not quite over the end line. Hall's thinking about the long throws all the way back to the track here. Thinks about it. Uncorks it for the penalty area. Montgomery was there. Not able to do anything with it. And back they go. Danto jumping with Montgomery. That was Cole earlier, my apologies. That was Montgomery. Bit of a collision there with Danto. And substitution coming up here for the Foothills. Jay Wheeldon, the goal scorer. He will have a rest here. His day looks like to be over. And replacing him will be Joel Waterman.
Well, that's a refreshing name on a day like today.
Always go for the Watermen, right? Meanwhile, looks like just a quick check here. Looks like he was cut a bit there. Was Callum Montgomery. So he'll be attended to. As the substitution takes place here, Waterman replacing Wheeldon.
Yeah, there's blood coming from that right eye. The eyebrow. He's hoping to get that cleaned off and Vaselined up to get him back into the fray as soon as possible. Don't want to be out. You don't want to be without a player like without him for a while.
Just to correct what I said earlier there, Ledgerwood is a healthy scratch from today's game. The subs remaining for the Foothills at this point, Dean Northover and Sergio Camargo. And of course, goalkeeper Marco Carducci. Worth had to be quick there as Piscotti had a tap in. And Worth does very well to get that out of the danger zone.
Yeah, I didn't think that pass. I thought that pass was too strong, but pace from Calgary there really put Worth under pressure, but he dealt with it brilliantly. We know he's great with his feet.
Montgomery still being attended to. Highlanders still down a player. Only Schall at the center of the back line. Campanelli being watched by Kyle Jones. Back to Worth it goes. Moses Danto. Here comes Serban. Off of him and out for a throw.
This is a big 20 minutes for Victoria for the whole season. You know, they've been equal to. Here we go. Great chance here.
Haynes tried to keep that one in, ended up giving it straight to Hall, puts it low, but he's put it right in to Waterman. Danto pushes off of Schall. Back comes Campanelli to help. It's Danto 1-on-3 and looking good doing so. Here comes the follow-up. Jones looks for Danto again. He's found him. Danto! Not by much.
The pass, the first touch were excellent. Finish from, what, 13 yards? Blazed over the bar. Being retrieved from some conifer trees right now. That was blazed.
Updates from around the league. Lane United currently leading the Seattle Sounders 2-1 with 25 minutes left in that match. Thanks to all of you out there in the YouTube chat, keeping us apprised of the scores. That does have an implication on the standings here. It's 3 points between last and third in the Northwest Division. So every point earned or lost matters. As an offside there, Spatino dings that one off of Gordon Hall.
Yeah, as you say, it's a tight league, and you know, if Victoria can get a goal back and maybe even push for a winner, it's going to have significant ramifications for, you know, going from what, like, from bottom to mid-table with 3 points. That's a huge boost for the team.
Worth as the Lakeside boys try and urge that equalizing goal out of their side.
Showing Worth where the goal is. I love that.
Knocked down by Waterman to Haynes. Looks for Patino. Hall came rushing in. Again, Callum Montgomery is still being intended to for that cut. It is still 11 on 10 in favor of the Foothills. Hall making a pretty big gamble there. As now Jones and Danto look for a ball here. Here's Atakube.
Yeah, he's been off the pitch for a while.
And now we see, after a very long absence, Blair Sturck is preparing to come into this match. He's handed in his sheet. Also stepping up, Noah Cunningham. I would imagine this is Cunningham coming in for Montgomery. So this might be end of the day here for Callum Montgomery.
Yep, Cunningham looking to just slip straight into that position.
And here's the substitution. It will be, yes indeed, Cunningham comes in for the injured Montgomery. That's a bit of a blow here, Montgomery. Such a talisman for this side. Cunningham, no slouch, but I'm sure loss of Montgomery is not one that the Highlanders will take easily.
Yeah, I think he's going to slip into that role quite comfortably, and it won't be too much disruption.
And it will be Marcus Campanelli making way for the Jedi Master, Blair Sturck. So Campanelli out, Sturrock in, Montgomery out, Cunningham in. Campanelli, not a bad day. Always makes things happen in the middle of the pitch when he's there, and he's had plenty of options in this 4-5-1 setup.
Yeah, works so hard on and off the ball. A lot of that sometimes can be, you know, it's not so easy to see that hard work. But yeah, he does such a great job for Victoria.
Low ball here for Hundle. Tries to get by Atakube. Finds Sturrock. Sturrock immediately goes into his normal position up at the top of the attack. Shaw goes over the top looking for Coach. Waiting there was Zator. Zebi looks for Jones. Can't quite get there. Cunningham, his touch back to Worth. Cunningham's already settling in nicely. And now this is Hall. Knotted down. Danto up against Cunningham, the two substitutes. Danto cuts back, right into Hall. Second effort deflects twice. Danto making appeals for handball there. No one's interested.
Yeah, he's never going to get it.
And now this is Haynes. Patino. Atakube. Zator. Zator moving way up from the back here. It's 11 on 11 again. Cunningham coming in for Montgomery. Patino now up against Hall. Still Patino. Tries it himself. Deflects. And now this is Hundle. Goes down quickly. Gets a burst of speed. Finds Sturrock. Sturrock stops up against Haynes. Chips it up and off. Doesn't catch the deflection he's looking for though, and it goes out for a throw for Foothills.
Clock is ticking down for Victoria. Ever since that goal, they've not really been pressing the goal of Calgary. Something's going to have to change. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Danto tries to get past Shaw, does so in a manner, but right at Worth. Worth had to be right there.
Wonderful cheers from the fans. Well deserved as well. He stood up brilliantly.
What a player to have come off the bench, Moses Danto.
He has a beautiful flick to get around. Got some fortune there. It's a good strike, but straight at Worth. He responds well with his hands.
Had to get that one right. He's already let one go underneath him. The go-ahead goal. He absolutely had to get that one. This time, safe hands, strong hands. Nothing going through. Jones looks to the right. He's found his runner. It's a good run here from Pasquati. But it's right at Worth.
Victoria needs some possession. They need to get the ball like this.
Final 15 minutes here.
Oh,
And a little poke there from Coach, unable to come up with it. Adekube up against Sturrock. Sturrock also left on the deck. Elijah Adekube calmly surveys his options, picks out Kyle Jones, who turns. Finds Carlos Patino on the left. Patino, Hall, giving him plenty of space. Cunningham pops that forward. Adekube flicks it to Haynes. Patino again. This time Hall right up against him. Showing short is Jones. He gets there up against Cunningham. Danto's at the far post. Looking for the run-off of Papadinus, and there it is! Moses Danto! Yep. Well, it's the matchup he wants. The big man has the size matchup against Mitch Papadinus at the far side. Reacts first, and the big man makes no mistake with the header. 3-1 Foothills.
Yeah, since he's come on the pitch, he's looked dangerous. He's looked like he wants a goal. And as you say, that matchup is exactly what he wanted. He knows exactly where the defender is, and all he has to do is make contact. And it's a beautiful, beautiful header.
Lovely diving header there. Set up by Patino, who's been excellent in that area. 76th minute. And it is 3-1 as the substitute finds the board.
Yeah, the heads are a little bit down out there for Victoria. They've got time if they can get one, but they've got to gamble. They've got to do something different that they've been doing the last 20 minutes because Calgary have been owning the last 15-20 minutes of this match. So a gamble, something's got to change, and I hope they recognise that and make that happen.
One thing they may not be able to do anything about is that with Montgomery gone, the two biggest bodies are Cunningham and Schall. And if they're both tied up, Danto, if he can pick his matchups. There's Pasquati, though, managing to nick that one off of Schall, but thankfully, Cunningham there to clean up. Over the top it goes. Bent hasn't had a lot to do since coming on. Service to him has not been consistent. Kube. Zebi. Back it goes. Serpin. Now back to Zator. Cross sides again with Waterman, who's now playing on the near side instead of the far side. Up it goes here. Pasquati has Danto. That's where it went, but it's behind him. Patino, first time ball off of Hall.
Handball.
And it's still there. Yep. There, I think it was spotted. Looked like that was going to go clear, but the referee had a good long look. Another substitution coming in here. Foothills going to all of their bench. Sergio Camargo is ready to come in, and he will replace Kyle Jones. Jones has been threatening all game long. No goals to his name, but I don't think he'll be disappointed with his performance at all, will Kyle Jones. It has not been safe to leave him alone for more than a fraction of a second, as he is always either the second man in or threatening to put somebody else in. So a great day on the park here for Kyle Jones.
Yeah, he's had a great game. He's been available to his teammates for the whole of this game, and he's going to be able to sit in the dugout, rest up for a little bit, and hope for his side that Calgary can, see this victory out.
Sergio Camargo will take his place, and here comes the free kick. It's flicked over and behind. Back for a corner. It was a teasing looking ball into a threatening area, dealt with ably. Safest place to put that, all things considered. And coach instead will go from the free kick duty to corner kick duty. Right in front of the Lakeside boys.
Still in good voice. It's great.
Coach is waiting here. The referee's seen something he doesn't like, issuing a few instructions. And he's fine with it now. Coach thinks about his delivery. Here it comes. Nope. That will be called back. Schall apparently.
So hard to officiate something like that.
Getting yet another talking to. Referee has I think run out of patience with that scrum that's going on right near the penalty spot.
Yeah, I don't have any envy for a referee at a corner, especially. What do you look at? The ball coming in, or the 7 tussles that are happening in the 6-yard box?
Schall and Waterman receiving the majority of the referee's attention there. There's a Tor also nearby. Now coach puts it up. Knocked down by Cunningham, but just past the near post. Well, Cunningham did very well there to actually get his head to it. Lots of obstacles in his way.
Yeah, very tricky to create the power from an out-swinging cross, but he did really well to negotiate something there. The body shape was wasn't such an easy position to get into.
Ingham thinks about his delivery. Haynes is calling for it, and that's where it goes. Hundle closes him down quickly. Waterman. And this is Patino. Camargo. Nice 1-2 there to bring Haynes in. Haynes has options. Plenty of them. Goes for Danto. Over his head, though. And Papadinets. Can he start a counter? He's found Bent. Good chance here for Corey Bent to go out on the run. Leaves for Papadinets. He'll keep it in. Plays it off the Calgary defender, Serbin. Gets the throw out of it. Back to Bent. Dinitz has his hands full. To Cunningham. Could have been going to Cunningham or Hall. In the end, they leave it for Hall. Danto and Patino hungrily eye that ball. Cunningham steps forward, goes low. It's a lovely little ball to Coach. Flicks it back. Sturck and Papadinets are there. Papadinets has it. Sturck on the overlap. Step over from Papadinets, crosses in, goes right to the near post.
Corner.
Over the end line, they say. Ingham is protesting that. He says he got to it cleanly. Tough to see from our angle, but the AR was incisive.
Yep, flag went up right away. You only do that if you have a good view of it.
And she was right on the end line. No better place to be. And ultimately, the referee agrees, and it will be a corner for the Highlanders. Coach's delivery is high over everybody's head. Hundle will get there. He'll let it run, though, for a throw. Cole shows short. Back to Hundle. And just get it past Patino. This is Bent now on his off wing. Puts it high, though. Well over the net. Almost back into the eating area.
Yep, you're going to be disappointed with that one. He had time to create a good ball. Whether that's taken a bobble or looks like he's leant back on that one. Very unfortunate. As the clock whittles down.
83rd minute. Yep, 7 minutes to go. 3-1 for the visitors. Foothills showing their depth of bench here. Is Cunningham now. Will he receive the game's first yellow? I believe he will. Referee did not like that challenge. Or is that going to Danto?
Yep.
That is going to Danto. Referee did not like Danto's performance in that challenge, and referee whistles it dead. So Moses Danto, he has a goal, and now he has a yellow.
Not sure whether the referee's seen a high elbow there or anything, but it looked like Danto had his eyes on the ball.
Here we see another substitution for the Highlanders. That will be the end of the day for Mitch Papadinets, who's been sprinting up and down that left side. And coming in will be Stuart Heath. Sorry, Jonas Smith will be coming in to replace Papadinets.
Yeah, he's had a great shift out there on that wing. He's been up and down. He's going to be looking forward to a little bit of shade in that dugout. Unfortunate that he comes off and his team's 3-1 behind and he's done all he can do.
Not an easy ask if you're Jonas Smith. Has to come in and have an instant impact. Thankfully those legs are fresh. Wall of white bodies preventing Pasquati from getting through. Schall. Highlanders need 2 goals here to rescue a home point. Hundle cuts in. Still with it, under some severe pressure here from Zebi. Hall to Cole. Back to Hundle. Danto barging shores off the ball, unfairly says the referee, and that'll be a free kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's complaining about there. It's just a free kick all day.
He's a big guy, though. It's one thing you always worry about when you have a player who is just naturally bigger and stronger than everyone else. Sometimes you get those, perhaps those undeserved calls just by virtue of being the bigger player.
Absolutely. I've never had that problem, so I'm not quite sure.
Hundle's delivery is not a bad one. Collision in the box, but Ingham holds. Referee right there saying no foul whatsoever.
I think that's Shaw on the deck.
That is Peter Schall. Took his time getting up. Referee checking for head injury here.
Yeah, if there's one player that puts his heart and body on the line every single minute of every game, it's that chap right there. He's had a good game, to be fair. It's unfortunate to be 3-1 down. As we head into the midway into the 86th minute.
Drop ball there, given straight to Ingham. He will calmly let his team array themselves in front. Smith will watch that one go straight to touch. bring it back in as fast as he can. Jonah Smith entering this match late for Mitch Papadinets. Shaw over to Nolan Worth. Hundle to Cunningham. Just one option on the bench left for both sides. Dean Northover for Foothills. Stuart Heath for Highlanders. Coming together there. And Adekube comes away with it. As Hall will jog back to his fullback position. Serban. Adekube. Sees the onrushing Smith.
Boom, straight into the book.
And
Wow.
no real shocker there. That was a stiff challenge. Late leg left in there by Jonah Smith. In the 87th minute, he goes into the book. So the cards are finally coming here. They just waited until the 84th minute to show up.
Bit of frustration in that one, I think. As Calgary are, what it looks like, edging towards another 3 points in this PDL matchup. And it's a frustrating one for Victoria because they had a passage in this game where they could have nicked the lead, and it could have been oh so different.
Another action. Seattle has grabbed a goal back. They're now down 3-2 to Lane United. With time winding down. Meanwhile, here in Victoria, it is 3-1 for Foothills. We're looking for more. In they come, dancing around. Is Pasquati. Can't get clear, though. One move too many. And Hundle goes long. He was looking for Sturrock, but not enough power on that. Sturrock did have space. It would have been him one-on-one with Waterman.
Yeah, it was a tired pass attempt. You know, it looked sloppy, but you know he's been out there working his socks off.
Here comes Coach trying to close down Waterman. To Haynes it goes. Haynes has been solid on this left-hand side. Puts it off of Hundle. Out for a throw.
Yes, time, turn.
Haynes will kill a few precious seconds off here, waiting for the perfect throw. And there it is, Camargo. Adekube now. Sturck runs to close him down. Now this is Patino. Had the assist on the 3-1 goal. Danto's lovely header. Danto dropped on the deck. No call. And there's Pasquati, far post! And there it is, a tap in into the empty net. Just like that, Sergio Camargo, it's 4-1 Foothills.
Yeah, that's a beautiful goal. I've got nothing else to say for that. The pass is exquisite. Very, very nice. Pass across for the tap in.
Great delivery by Patino here to find the run of Pasquati.
Yeah.
Little knock across the face of goal. First time touch. That is sublime there from Nico Pasquati.
The pass is so good because it pulls the keeper out, and then that makes the finish so easy.
Didn't even think. First time pass. Shaw and Worth. It's a very late arrival. It would be something miraculous to keep that out of the back of the net. 4-1 Foothills as we are in the 90th minute. Maybe there's a consolation goal here for Highlanders, but right now, the subs that have come off the bench for Foothills. And suddenly, what was a very tense and very close game has been blown wide open.
Yeah, it's been a strange game. Calgary started the game well. Victoria came back into it. It was 1-1 going into the second half, and I thought we'd see a much tighter affair. Victoria came out well, but Calgary, wow, yeah, they're top of the league for a reason.
Ingham in absolutely no rush as we've played now just about the full 90 minutes of regulation. 3 minutes of added time indicated by the fourth official. 3 minutes perhaps to find something as Danto there called for jumping unfairly with Cunningham. Meanwhile, the Seattle Lane United has taken another twist. In stoppage time, Seattle has scored a late penalty, and it is 3-3. Scenes there between the Sounders and Lane United.
Goals galore on Father's Day.
Meanwhile, Pasquati trying for another. Goes far post again. He had Danto there. Just a little too much on that one. As Nico Pasquati look to add to his assist tally.
He did really well there. He just got the chip cross a little bit wrong.
Camargo tries to go central, but the only person waiting for there is Jonas Smith.
Oh my.
Turns around a few times there, wasn't sure who to go to. Coach goes back, and now it's Cunningham. Hall. Left side has been more or less vacated here as Highlanders push numbers forward. They'll focus on this right side. Hundle to Smith again. There's the run of Bent. It's nowhere close to him, and Sturck had got tangled up with Zator. Zator will just keep it himself and go for a run. Why not? Carlos Patino now. Goes for the run of Danto. That was always a hopeful ball, though. And Worth goes immediately the other way. Sturck is there. So is Waterman. Sturck gets ahead to it. It's a late run by Koch.
Oh.
And Haynes is just a bad header. Can Koch get there? No, Ingham is very brave. He's brave and he's fast as Nathan Ingham. And that would have been the consolation goal were it not for some alert keeping there by the Calgary goalkeeper.
I think the Calgary defender might be having a bit more of a word with himself if the scoreline was a bit tighter after that header.
Touch too casual there from the back line. And now this is Patino, who has some space. He's on side. He's up against Hall. Goes for the inside. Has a shot off the back of Schall. Hundle attempts to close it down. Won't. High boot, though.
Yep.
Referee's called that. We've almost played the full 93 here. Final minute of stoppages. Ticking away. Well, Calgary definitely found their next gear in this second half. Substitutes came on. They made their difference. Goals from Jay Wielden in the 63rd. Moses Danto in the 76th. Sergio Camargo in the 89th. A trio of goals. Gives us the 4-1 result, staring us in the face now. Shaw will try and manufacture something here. Surely this is the last rush of the game here for the Highlanders. Puts it off the Calgary defender, off of that a Kube, I believe. And the throw misses its target, and the referee's seen enough. And that's full time. Calgary Foothills 4, Victoria Highlanders 1. The Father's Day tilt at Centennial Stadium goes the way of the visitors. Foothills continue their lead atop the table. A 9-point road trip, 9 of 9. That's how you stay atop the table. I don't care what league you're in. Get those points on the road and you are unstoppable.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed with Calgary today. I think they won this predominantly from pure tactics and squad rotation. They started with a lot of their big players on the bench. And, you know, it was 1-1. It was tight in the first half. We could see some replays of some of the actions, the second half goals.
That would be the winner there from Wielden in the end. Worth, that's probably the only one where you can say he could have done better. Bit soft to let that one fall underneath him.
Yeah, it comes through a little bit of a cluster of players. It's tricky, but the player strikes it well. Lovely little piece of skill here.
And Moses Danto, what an impact he had the moment he came onto the pitch.
Yeah, the Victoria backline, I don't think we're too pleased when he came on.
Big, strong player. Kyle Jones here. DiPatino finds the header. Yeah. And, I mean, that's what you bring a player like that on for. Imagine if he was on for a full 90. It's a small mercy, perhaps, that Moses Danto came off the bench today.
It's my favourite goal for today. It's beautifully worked as a team goal.
That's wonderful, yes.
Yeah.
Patino finds Pasquati on the run. First time sliding volley cross cutback, whatever you want to call this. It's a lovely bit of skill, this second pass here from Pasquati. That's just lovely.
It's very selfless, that. Beautiful.
And then Camargo has an empty net to tap it into. Token last chance ever there from Shaw and Worth to get across, but ultimately nothing doing. And so with that, standings for the USL's PDL Northwest Division look more or less like they did when we started this match here. It's still going to be Calgary Foothills up top and the Victoria Highlanders on the bottom.
Yeah, we've mentioned this. At half-time it was 1-1, and Victoria had a great opportunity and passage in the first 10-15 minutes of that second half to potentially, you know, get a winner. Their sloppy play from the first half, you know, it looked like it stopped, but as soon as Calgary nicked that goal, when they started to press a little bit, The sloppiness came back in. I really hope that's something that's spoken about before they take on Lane United on Friday. Again, you know, 4-1, it's kind of flattering to the visitors, you know. Their big players came on the second half and kind of got the job done. Positives can be taken from this, absolutely no doubt about it. And you know what, Victoria, they've got to, like, you know, they've got to lick their wounds, come back strong, because this is a tight league. It's very, very competitive, and a lot of fortune happens in this, and you know, you've just got to keep working at it.
With that draw, Lane United on 10 points, Sounders on 9. Same as Portland Timbers are on 8. Highlanders still on 6. TSS Rovers on 13, and Foothills atop 23 points, well clear TSS FC Rovers. That's likely, if that hasn't sewn up the division title for them, that surely must do it, as Thomas Niendorf debriefs with his side. The next game, Calgary Foothills, will be against TSS Rovers, back at the Foothills field. For the Highlanders, it'll be Lane United at the Les Schwab Sports Park. We will be back for the next home match against TSS Rovers here at Centennial Stadium. Until then, from everyone here at Podium TV, my name is Richard alongside Simon Brazier. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Father's Day, everyone. We will see you next time.